Hey everyone, this is Eric with localservices.com, and I'm coming at you with a video regarding Python. And this is how to create a Python MySQL database on a website. This is part of a this was this is in regards to an application that I built with PHP and MySQL. And now that we know that Python connects well with MySQL, we want to explore the possibilities and see how we can redo the PHP database in Python. And because Python can be used as a web application and be used as a database or on a desktop. So we want to explore those possibilities, and that's what this video is about. Well, the first part of it. This is a start of a series of videos that we're going to be um, modifying or building this here database. In this particular video, you're going to see how to set up a MySQL database for your Python application to use, how to set up a MySQL table, and how to set up a Python web page to connect to MySQL and display the information. Come on out to Python in HTML examples or the link below, and you can get some of the code that I'm using in this here video. So let's go first of all to I'm using HostGator as a the website, and this has to do with medical data. HostGator is not HIPAA compliant yet. So, but if you don't have to be HIPAA, we used a Google Compute Engine for that, but this is not containing any pertinent health information, so you can rest easier on that. So anyway, we're setting up a database here. Database says I logged into HostGator. Go and patronize a link at Python in HTML examples. Set up your HostGator account, and then you'll be able to get a login. And most of these like HostGator, HostMonster, everything's set up on they're using Apache web server, which is open source, and which is good because we have Python already. Python is easily integratable if it's not already there. HostGator already has it, so and it was really easy to set up. And I encourage you to come on out to Python and HTML examples, and you can figure out how to get Python to work on your particular web server. It's really easy. I think it's easier than a lot of other ones. Okay, so I'm coming out here I'm logged into my HostGator portal, and I clicked on databases, and I click on MySQL databases, and I want to see MySQL. Okay, now I see all my stuff that I have currently. I have some MySQL databases. First of all, I want to create a database. You see my other like Access videos, okay, which is good. I mean, for a desktop, if you're using Windows, it's awesome. So I encourage you to use that. Create a new database, and it starts out with my login name. Create databases. Create database. A database cannot be empty. Okay, whatever. First of all, we're going to call this med. The med database. Create database. and added the database airglobemed. Good. And I click go back. Okay, add user to database. So my user is airglobeadmin, and I'm adding it to this. So this is my user, and I'm adding it to my med database that I just made. So again, add user to database, user to database, and then I'm clicking. I'm not doing, and again, I'm not doing the add new user, or because I'm not adding a new user. I'm adding a current user to a database. If you don't have a current user, go ahead and add one. Go ahead and add a new user and add. And I want to give that user full control. I'll control what they have access to by their login on their website after a while. This is my web user. Add user MySQL database. Good. And you have given the requested privileges to the database blank med to this user. Great. Okay, thanks. Thanks for telling me, guys. Okay, now, since that database has been made, I can go to phpmyadmin and create a table. Okay, so I'm back to click on databases, and I'm getting back to my menu where I created a MySQL database just a moment ago, and now I'm going to my admin, phpmyadmin, and going to use that to create a table. The system will redirect you in a moment. Okay. Depending on how fast your bandwidth is, it'll redirect you in a moment. Alright. Now I should have my username here, and I should have all my databases here. And here's my database I just made, the med database. I'm going to click on it, and it has no tables right now. Create a table, and here we're calling it TBL providers, because we want to put our providers. And this database has handle medical claims for certain providers that sign up with us. And so we are going to have a table that holds specifics about the providers. And it has 4 columns. That's good. And go. phpmyadmin makes it really easy to add piece of information. So PRV ID, and here my naming convention is going to be the table name. It's easier when I go ahead and query this underscore ID. It's easier when I do the SQL, because I don't have the query builder like I did in Access, and so and I'm not going to use it. I can try to find an admin utility. This seems to be just fine with me. And plus, I want to learn the SQL. I've been able to learn the SQL language through it. So to make it easier, you prefix it with the first 3 letters of the table name, and it's going to be an integer. This can be my primary key. Auto increment. Scroll over so I can see that. Yes. So now it knows it's a primary key. Index primary key. Yeah, go. Great. And PRV. So first name, change this. PRV underscore city. And okay, back to this again. I'm going to choose a varchar. And this is going to be a varchar as well. Because of various characters. That's what varchar is. And you're dealing with a large scale database here. So you're going to have a lot of different options for data types. This particular field is going to hold alphanumeric characters. And I'm saying, okay, well, and the size of this is going to be, let's say, 50 characters. Because I don't think their name's going to be a city, let's say 50 as we get. And then the PRV date entered, because I want to know when I want to have a timestamp here. I always like to have a timestamp because it helps me to manage when this information was added. I'm calling it timestamp. My default value is going to be current timestamp. And we're good to go. I think my face covered the save button. Save. And bang. Okay, so we have first name. So now we have our table. Let's say back here in the med database, we have our first table, TBL providers. And want to go ahead and insert some information, and we're going to create some insert forms so that we can do it on the website. But for right now, we're not. We're just going to do it here to show our information, proof of concept. And Jackson, they're from Jacksonville, Susan and Henry from San Diego. And one thing about here, we have two at a time, which is it was okay for right now. And then we have maybe some of this information would come from it would come from a Excel spreadsheet, which would be fine, or an Access database. Okay. Want to convert it to a CSV file or a text file and load that data into the database. And then we have, let's see, Jenny, and she's from Albany. Why not? I got people from all over the place here. And then here I have Joe, J-O-E, from Dallas. Now I should have four that pop up here. Okay, yeah, I have 4. So here again, my database. If I go, my database has one table in it right now, TBL providers, and if I left click on it, I see my first name and the date that they were entered. And this is the central time zone, because I'm in Houston. This is a central time zone, so it matches my clock. So it's 10:25 a.m. on 8/6. If you want to edit these, you could double click and choose. You could use you could double click and edit. PHP and MyAdmin does a good job at editing. If you just want to hard edit. Some like to use this if you're logically minded. You wouldn't want to give this to users, of course, but you could use this. Okay, great. Now the last thing we're going to do is create a a MySQL, a form on our Python website that shows this list. So we're going to make a connector. So let's go on out and I use FileZilla, and I'm going to, okay, so we're editing now the MySQL, the Python file, and I'm going to go ahead and delete some of the stuff I just typed in. I'm going to delete that just to kind of clarify what we're doing. We're looking at, this is the path to my Python interpreter on HostGator. The user /bin/Python. So it's a Python interpreter. And if you look at Python and HTMLexamples.com, you'll find out that I go into that in a bit of detail. So, and you need to make sure that you put that on as a top of all your files, all your Python files, to be able to run Python scripts on your web server. So I'm starting here at dbconnect. I want to connect to, first of all, I want to connect to my MySQL server and the database I have on there. So I call this procedure dbconnect. dbconnect open paren, close paren. But the problem is we don't know what dbconnect is. So I'm going to solve that. Because if you run this, it says, I don't know, the program Python, the mysql.py will say, I don't know what you're talking about. dbconnect, open paren, close paren, sorry. And then I'll error out with the error 500. So we need to define what dbconnect is, and that's what this is. Okay, that's why I deleted it. So we prefix all our functions in Python. Python is not like other languages like PHP and C and Java and all that good stuff. So we don't, those use brackets, and those use brackets to define the procedures and JavaScript. So those use brackets to define the procedures. Python uses, first off, it uses the abbreviation it defines, so of DEF. So we're defining dbconnect. What is db? Because down here at the bottom we're saying, okay, first off, call this dbconnect. And so here we have dbconnect. Like I was saying, Python is not like the other languages where you have the brackets. You use indentions. Python likes indents. I used the idle editor. You can use other Python editors as well, but I choose. I'm using for this example the idle editor because it's free and it comes with Python. If you download it to your Windows machine, all that. Because Windows tabs do not match up with Linux tabs all the time. So to make sure that it does match up, utilize a Python acceptable format editor. So here I know that my indents are going to be just fine and correct. So here and rather than rewriting the code in MySQL DB, which could be thousands of lines of code, I choose import. So I import this particular module, and it's probably on the HostGator server somewhere, and it's included with Python, I believe. And so I'm importing the characters, the methods, and the properties that are already incorporated in that module. the MySQL DB module. And here, when I choose define, I define my connection, MySQL DB.connect. I have my, wherever my MySQL is at, it's locally, it's on a local host. What's my username, my password for that particular database, and what is the database anyway? It's called MED. Here's my username for that. My cursor is like my record set. I'm storing all my records inside of my record set. Select all from providers. I'm instantiating a variable for the SQL. Again, you can get this code at Python in HTML.com. Cursor.execute is like currentdb.execute if you're thinking about Access, and some of y'all don't have any clue about Access, don't care, but it's like that, current database.execute. We're executing that SQL statement. And any print items that need to print comments, okay, this is a side note, comments need to be prefixed with this pound sign. And any print items need to be below the sign. So if you're going to print stuff out, make sure it's below the content type, because we got to tell the browser window what's the content type. And these are providers from the MySQL table. Now I'm looping through the rows for each row in my cursor. So it's like a table. We have every line in my record set. For each row in my cursor, print the row. Okay, easy peasy. And then I'm printing it. Print. This is like your echo, and print out the first. Actually, this is not the first column. Prints out the row. So good. And then we print out to the end, and okay, now I go back to FileZilla, I drag it over, and I try to run it by pressing F5 on my keyboard, and that didn't work. I got my 500 error. So what I've been saying in my other posts at Python and HTML examples is that we have to set these file permissions. Either you can go in your black DOS command shell, and this is command this, or you can go file permissions here in FileZilla, right click, and change the attributes, because mine are 644, change to 755. Now it should work. If all works out, yeah. So here are my providers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could say, okay, so we have print row. If you want to see everything in there. And the nice thing about that is also is that it keeps the permission when it knows the file is there. We don't have to keep setting it all the time. We've already set it one time, so it stays. So here we have a array 1L, 2L, and date time. Okay, so pretty much we're taking the providers out of that table. It's not real pretty right now, but we're taking the provider from that table and put it and outputting it on the screen. So in the next video, we're going to see how to format this, and also how to, we're going to set up a form so that we can actually input these from a form. Input these from a form and edit them and display them. Input new providers. So Thanks for watching. Coming up to Python and HTML examples for the code. And thanks for your attention. Hopefully you found value in this video. Make sure you click the like button if you did. Bye-bye.